Coaches Poll Top 25. College football rankings released after turbulent Week 1, new number 1 team. The latest Coaches Poll Top 25 rankings were released after a turbulent Week 1 of college football, and there's a new number 1. Chaos already. We were fully back with a full slate across multiple days, and if you wanted top 10 matchups and big brands going at it, well, you got it. Surprises, stunners, and more highlighted the weekend. So, without further ado, let's dive into the Coaches Poll, recapping Week 1 of college football. We begin at the top. 1. Ohio State, +1. Ohio State opened the season the right way, rising in the Coaches Poll after a win over Texas. The defending champs showcased dominating defense all day long, creating havoc for the Longhorns. QB Julian Sayin had a nice debut. Not gaudy numbers, but solid pocket presence and good decision-making. 2. Penn State, +1. Penn State dominated Nevada, so we didn't see the Nittany Lions in a playoff preview-type atmosphere. Still, Drew all only threw 4 incompletions, and it was a balanced offensive attack. It's interesting to see how the early Coaches Poll will treat Penn State compared to the defending champions. This team is firmly in the mix for the national title. 3. Georgia, +1. Georgia didn't open up with a world-beater, but the Bulldogs dominated Marshall 45-7 to open the season. Gunnar Stockton looked just fine under center, showing off his dual-threat abilities. With what happened in the SEC this weekend, perhaps Georgia can get to the top of the SEC. It's a long season, but Kirby Smart and crew are firmly near the top of the Coaches Poll. 4. LSU, +5. LSU made a statement going into Clemson and getting the win over a fellow national championship contender. Brian Kelly might have finally figured it out. It's only one game, but Garrett Nussmeier looked as good as advertised, despite a low-scoring affair. Oh yeah, the defense was on point. 5. Oregon, +2. Oregon throttled Montana State 59-13 in their season opener. Dante Moore made his starting debut and looked pretty good after spending a year as a backup. Dan Lanning and crew will be tested moving forward as they try to win the Big Ten again. First up is a Power 4 game against Oklahoma State this coming weekend. 6. Texas, -5. Texas fell to Ohio State on the road to begin the season. Arch Manning struggled and the discourse online reached insane levels. But it was one game, and this is an insanely talented defense. If Steve Sarkisian and Manning can rein in some of the bad decisions, he should be able to get back on track. 7. Miami, +3. The Hurricanes opened the season with a solid win over Notre Dame. Coming off a year where Mario Cristobal and crew just missed the playoff, this was a statement. Carson Beck tossed for 205 yards and 2 touchdowns in his Miami debut. As long as he's healthy, the offense should be steady, and the Hurricanes were certainly physical on defense. 8. Clemson, -2. Circling back to Clemson, the Tigers didn't know what hit them in a loss to LSU. They were shut out in the second half, and Cade Klubnik has seen better days. It's a non-ACC loss, so it's hard to take too much from this game. Other than a missed opportunity to boost the playoff resume, of course. 9. Notre Dame, -4. Notre Dame didn't drop too much after losing to Miami on the road. C.J. Carr was solid in his first start at QB, and the defense had its moments. But the Irish have to go back to the drawing board to figure out the run game. Heisman candidate Jeremiah Love was virtually non-existent. 10. Arizona State, +1. Remember the Sun Devils? Last year's Big 12 champ started the year with a 38-19 win over Northern Arizona, so it was nothing crazy. Still, they'll be a major player in the Big 12 again and try to find their way to the college football playoff. They're in the top 10 this week. Coaches Poll Top 25 revealed after Week 1. 11. South Carolina, +2. 12. Illinois. 13. Michigan, +1. 14. Ole Miss, +1. 15. Florida, +2. 16. SMU. 17. Tennessee, +1. 18. Iowa State, +3. 19. Florida State, +28. 20. Alabama, -12. 21. Indiana, -2. 22. Texas A&M, -1. 23. Texas Tech, +1. 24. Oklahoma, +2. 25. BYU, -2. Schools dropped out of coaches poll. Number 20 Kansas State, number 25 Boise State. Others receiving votes in coaches poll: Utah 117, Louisville 95, Missouri 88, Kansas State 79, Tulane 45, USC 41, Auburn 41, TCU 33, Iowa 23, Navy 17, Georgia Tech 17, Nebraska 13, Memphis 11, South Florida 9, Duke 5, Kansas 4, Washington 3, Vanderbilt 2, FIU 1.